Hi, friends, and welcome to my channel. This is a podcast where I enjoy sharing my insights. And today I want to talk about the mysterious world of how to. So I'm calling it Nobody Knows How To. Yet, we've got books, stores full of how-to books, and Amazon full of how-to books, and YouTube videos of how to do everything from landing a plane to building a house. And you can watch all of those videos. Spend all your time reading books, and you'll never know how to until you know how to. So if it sounds like I'm talking in circles, that's because the how to is hard to talk about. But I'll give it a shot. Stick around. Recently, I was watching a video that I think it was called How to Land a Cessna 172. It popped up on my feed because I was doing some research on some aviation because I'm starting my instrument rating next month. And I'm going to be brushing up some of my piloting skills. And I thought, well, let me watch this video about how to land a 172, which is a kind of plane. And everything in it was perfect. It's like, that was some very good information. But I thought to myself, okay, does that tell us how to do it? Yes and no. If you know how to do it already, it does tell you how to do it. And we mistaken these instructions for what is essentially ourselves. You see, you can watch hours and hours and hours of how-tos until you do. You can't land a 172. I don't think anybody would be able to land a 172 simply by watching videos. They might, but they would most likely endanger their life. Because the body has to learn it. The eyes, the coordination, the whole physical sensation. So to really learn how to land a plane, you would have to have an instructor there in case you overcorrect or don't realize the mistakes you're making. You need an extra pair of eyes and hands on the other side. So if you were to learn how to fly, your first lesson is not just sitting in a classroom. It's sitting in the left seat and start the plane and do what you can in this really awkward, clunky introduction to doing. And so you would learn by repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, and you would be teaching yourself. Do you see? So the universe rewards action. You will never learn how to be a good writer by just reading books. Yes, you can get information that's very helpful to you, but the only way to be a good writer is to write and write and write and write and write. And you will teach yourself. The only way to be a good content creator is to create some content and just do it. But you see, we want to be perfect at it before we even launch into any kind of baby steps. But that's not how the universe allows us to truly learn. We must learn experientially. So the how-to, or the way, is you. You will be the one to know how to. And to put it in instructions is futile. You'd have to get curious about the particular skill you're looking for. And then you would educate yourself, and then there would be some kind of application to that, some kind of what I would call first-hand experience. And to me, That's what the enlightenment, the so-called enlightenment process is. A first-hand experience that you would have to develop some curiosity over. And I'm not even sure that you can actually have an attraction towards something like that unless it's inherent. See, everything that I've ever wanted to learn, I have inherently been attracted to. So I want to learn about myself, which is what I think spirituality is. It's wanting to learn about one's self. And if you don't have an inherent curiosity about oneself, you will never know how to be yourself. Now, you can explain to people who you are, but you're going to explain the outwardness of yourself. You're going to explain where you're from, what you've done. You're going to be explaining things that sort of bolster up this outward identity or the roles that you play. And what we're after is there a being in the body? No, there is not a being in the body. There's no one driving this machine. The same force that animates the wind or shines the stars or moves the earth is the same force that moves the body, the mouth, everything. And how do we learn about that? Well, it's difficult when the how-to, or as it says in the Tao Te Ching or many Eastern philosophies, the way is you. You are the how-to. You are the way. Or I am the way. And the way is playful, supple, loving, and free. How do I know that? Well, a lot of people go to church. A lot of people think that they can find the way in church. But the church is full of symbols of this how-to, full of instructions. In the same way that one might read a book about playing the piano and think they know how to play the piano, and they cannot put their hands on the keyboard and make the music. It's as if God is in the church. And I've said this before, that a lot of people go around saying God first. I saw this today at the gym. A guy had a shirt that said God first. I had to chuckle. If I carried that philosophy around with me as God first, if I found myself stranded on a desert island, I would not be looking for God first. I would be looking for food, shelter, and water. Those things would be my God. If you were starving to death or thirsting to death, you would not be saying, I need a church. I need God. Nobody would. They would say, I need water. And that would be your God. That would be your your primacy. That would be your first and foremost thought, is water. Because you have a need. And that is together. Thirst, the thought of water, finding water, being resourceful, and creating and providing for yourself are principles that work together. And how do you come to this realization? Well, I guess it's because you might go through your life and you're so tired of fearing. You just have to come to a point where fear, I call it the exhaustion point. I can't fear anymore. I'm done. Fear was my God, let me tell you. That's all I ever thought about, was how this low-level anxiety. How do we get rid of that? Here we go. For me, it dissolved. I had had enough of it. I don't know what prompted that. See, you can't desire to not desire. You can't desire to rid yourself of fear. Unless that's a true desire, you see? Otherwise, you're just following platitudes and empty words. And you're following the, if somebody tells you, oh, this is how you get rid of fear, you're going to follow the recipe and you're going to still feel fearful. That's what's so interesting about spiritual enlightenment, is you can't explain how that happens. How does one tune the universe, become the universe, where they realize there is nothing bigger than me? I don't know. It's a realization. And so I can't put it in an instruction book. So people who believe the Bible is an instruction book are fooling themselves. Because it still would paint an image of a God in the sky who's sometimes mean and helps his favorites and is very busy these days, not sure what God is up to. That's a separateness. But to feel this unity, this complete wholeness, we must have, this is weird, we must have a bigger conception of ourselves. Now that's strange. We must have a bigger conception of ourselves. Maybe you could say your God is too small. But when you get into all of this, you realize it's all conceptual. And how do we talk about the appearance of a concept without it seeming like it just pops out of nowhere? Ideas pop out of nowhere. Desires pop out of nowhere. What is this nowhere? What is this before and after? What's behind the veil? Where are these ideas coming from? Where am I coming from? You see? It's a spontaneous happening. And if I tried to tell you how I arrived at this fearless, peaceful, serene state, I would be fooling you. It arrived to me. And there's a word we use a lot. It. It's all working out. What the hell is it? It takes care of itself. What's it? Nature unfolds spontaneously. What's nature? Life is hard. What's life? God is love. Who's God? What's love? We don't understand what we're talking about. Nobody knows how to. Until you realize, I am the way. I am the way. The way that we're pointing to, the map, is not the territory. That's a philosophy that you have to get into. The instructions don't tell you how to. In other words, nobody can tell you who you are. Only you know the way. And that's you. You. Let's go back to the desert island thing. You're not going to be asking for help. You're not going to be looking for other people. If you're alone on a desert island, you're going to look for everything around you that is providing for you. Shelter, food, water, survival, all of that. Your resourcefulness will create the way. That's a way of saying you'll create a God. Water, food, shelter, etc. And the need is also part of this process. It's a complete ecosystem. So whatever it is you think you need, it has been provided already in the need itself. That's the how-to. That's recognizing it's not a step-by-step formula, an affirmation, a book, a church, a stained glass window, a song, a prayer. Well, it's you. It's you, fundamentally. Whatever you think is missing is a hide-and-seek kind of game, and the environment and the creature are together in this. The so-called outside world and the so-called inside world are secret bedfellows. This hunger you feel inside will be fed by what seems to be out there, but it is all coming from within. There's no individual in that world. The in and the out come together in an awareness that consciousness doesn't need a body to exist. You see? God doesn't need a church to exist. Think of that. You don't need a house. You are the environment. You are all of it. So that there is no controller in the body. There's nobody home. Everything is home. You can't encapsulate the know-how and expect people to understand themselves. You are the way. Just remember that. Whatever seems to be in the way, you are the way. And when you are the way, what's in the way is you. How can you be bigger than yourself? How can you outsmart yourself? How can you outlive yourself? This cat and mouse game is the fundamental nature of life. There's no purpose in it but to enjoy it, to play with it, to take it lightly, to understand. Oh, I'm the centrality of this. Nothing can stop me. Nothing's a problem. Nothing's bigger. And there's no how-to in this. I am the how-to. And you're not going to read about that in a book. You're going to rely on yourself. Remember, if you're stuck, you're not going to go to a church. If you're thirsty, you're not going to go to a church unless they have water there. But you got water here. You'll find it. You, and only you, are the way. My name is Ryan Hebert. I hope you enjoyed these insights and they encourage you, particularly if you feel stuck. If you're in the way, remember you are the way. So it negates each other and you never have an obstacle. Please check out my blog, mymorningmotivator.com.